Hello YouTube, I am here to explain BT Plus and the ingots and all that garbage and hopefully do it relatively quickly. I hate complicated things, so my goal is to communicate it to you all and help you understand it real quickly. Before I get into it, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment with who you're planning to green. Any questions you might have, anything you think I didn't clarify, please do that. Additionally, you can become a member, get some emotes, join my live stream, check out the ranting hour, do it every Wednesday. And yeah, I think that's all I needed to do to plug myself. We're gonna get right into it, not waste anybody's time. BT Plus, aka Burst Plus, is an upgrade to Burst effects. There's a couple mechanics that we get alongside it. First off, we're getting more ingots and more books, and they're black.
So say it. Say what? Say the word you want to say.
0 out of 3 is the upgraded finisher, so it'll do more attacks. 1 out of 3 limit breaks is an extra turn in the PT phase. Instead of, what's it now, 5, you get 6. 2 out of 3 is the effect upgrade, so you get more stuff. Like Bartz, for example, gets his wind enchant for the party and Brave gain up on his BT plus passive. And 3 out of 3 lets you use the finisher independent of the BT phase as a single ability. You'll just pop it and do the finisher, and you'll have the effect up. And I'll be referring to 3 out of 3 limit breaks as greening because that's what color the button turns. Having it as a finisher now lets you have the effect up twice potentially. One after the individual finisher and one after the BT phase. The finisher effect can be active during a BT phase as well. So what you can possibly do, and I do this sometimes, you could use your finisher and then go into the BT phase to have a juiced up BT phase and stack them. You're still locked to one main party BT phase per battle, but you can have multiple effects up via green finishers. With 3 green burst pluses in the party, you could hit all their finishers and stack BT effects like crazy. Important things though, something else, ingots work like they always have. You book something and you get an ingot out of it. You cannot at this moment in JP sell BT plus after you book them. So booking dupes is a horrible idea because those resources are very, very limited. You hate to be in a spot where you want to actually green someone, but you booked the dupe and now you can't green into them. And now I'm going to go over how to get the resources actually, the ingots and books. So every Lufenia plus complete gives you 5 black nuggets, just like Chaos Red nuggets and technically Lufenia base with 20 high armor tokens being worth 5 purple nuggets. A book is given during the beginning of every BT cycle. So as soon as someone gets a new one, you'll be given a book for completing that specific Lufenia plus. Completing Transcendence gives you a whole ingot at once, the left, right, and the middle stages. In the beginning as well in JP, I don't know how they'll repeat this in Global, but there was a campaign running where we got an extra book and 2 black ingots. So this was equivalent to a whole free BT plus because, you know, 2 ingots and then you book the weapon, that's 3. Shout out to Nidre who runs DFFOO He has a resource planner that lays this all out. So if you really want to like math out how many BT ingots and resources you'll be able to get, please check that site out, sign up for the planner, and it'll map it out. It's what I use to actually identify how many we got because I didn't pay that much attention to it, unfortunately. But if I did the math correctly, then by the end of month 1 of Lufenia Plus and BT Plus, you'll have been given 3 books and 4 ingots. This is assuming that they gave out the resources similar to how they did in JP. 3 books and 4 ingots means you will be able to actively use 2 green BT Plus. By month 2, you'll have enough for, you'll be given, 5 books and 5 ingots, which means 3 BT plus, and that is assuming that you were able to book something else at that point, because you burned 8 ingots and then you need the 9th from another book. Again, go to FFOO tip if you really want to math it out. I'm not going to focus too much on that. My point here is that the resources are actually more limited than you realize. Treat them as a last resort. We have the foresight to plan in Global. Please use it effectively. If you have some huge expectations about who you're going to green, there's a crazy stretch, like 6 months into Lufenia Plus and BT Plus, with like Tidus, Cloud, Squall, Zac, Laguna, Terra, in the 2-month period. And those are a lot of fan favorites, and if you like one of them and you blew a green on someone you didn't use that much, it's going to feel really bad. So just know that these are extra limited, and they give them out really slowly. I think it was, 6 months in, there were 30 available BT plus units, and we could only max 10 at the time, so just keep that in mind. Now for my advice. A lot of this is going to overlap with my Hammer Plus advice, solely because it's just a limited resource that we don't get that much of. Treat greens like you treat blues, but just much more extreme. What I always say is that if you have to ask if you should green someone, don't. Because you'll know either if you really want them or if you're hard stuck on content and if you've exhausted all your other options. But favorites first, favorite always. Make sure you have some resources in the tank for units you actually like. That popular BT plus stretch that I mentioned back then was crazy, and I flat out didn't have enough in JP. My Titus and my Squall are not maxed, and I just didn't get Laguna, so it hurts. Ignore hype. That's huge. For every person that ran some BT plus into the ground, there's a person who didn't touch them. Nobody specifically is needed. This is why I push back so hard and going crazy for Cloud of Darkness because of BT plus. Nothing feels worse than a green you don't use much. And I've had that happen to me a couple times in JP, and I hate it. Same with blue armor. Additionally, having multiple BT plus is an insane power spike. I actually ran on 2 greens for months, being Bartz and Zidane. I didn't even green anyone else until like a couple months down the line with Kuja, and I didn't even always use them. Sometimes Yuna was my sole BT unit. That's the other thing I was going to segue into. You don't need to green someone always for them to be effective. I mean, there's some loaded effects behind some BT pluses, but again, just try and see what you can make work. Because that's why Yuna is a double-edged sword, where you might have to use her BT phase, which means you can't use another BT phase on a newer unit, but at the same time, Yuna's BT phase is so powerful you can justify it with other units, or just not use a BT at all, depending on the team. Complement your roster. Bartz is an all-rounder. If you don't like seeing the bosses do anything, Zidane's your best friend. Brave Game means first Tola. Big damage with Ace, especially off-turn stuff. You need to think about it and evaluate, and don't just green on a whim, because again, I can't say this enough, nothing feels worse than a green you don't really use. Try content without greening, explore your roster, stretch to the limits, check the call to arms on decidiainfo.com. They break the fight down tons. See what you can do, see if you can save so you can have some more fun around later times when units you actually enjoy. I also want to emphasize that early on it is not necessary to green people. You don't need to go, who do I green? Ishtola versus Zidane, or who do I green? Ace versus Bartz, etc. Just think about it, your whole roster and what you need to do. So please don't ask, who should I green, X or Y, or who's better to green, A or B, because it's never that simple, and it's a decision that needs to be thought out. It's not that binary, the game's way more complicated than that. Now for my plans. I do monthly poll plans, so check those out when they come out, where I go more in depth about the characters and my reasoning behind it. But I'm going to talk about my greens and my approach, how I'm going about BT Plus in global. This is being recorded right as Kieran gets his BT cycle, and well, no, his BT cycle is ending now in JP, excuse me. But I'm going to run through real quickly some early greens, what I'm thinking along with what I experienced in JP. Please do not take this as something you should follow. Use it as a springboard to come to your own conclusions. So first off, I'm not going to max Zidane. Assuming I get his BT, I won't. At the most, I'd book him because I already use him a ton in JP, and I'm going to max Ishtola as I already have her BT. She's going to be green. I want to commit to Brave Game memes, and I think she'd be generally useful. Zidane is fantastic. He enabled a ton of my lazy runs for just deleting boss turns like crazy because he's the best deleter by far, but not. I'm trying to mix it up, as I say. And then the second half, I'm going to not max Bartz, and instead I'm going to max Ace. And I think Ace, while Bartz is probably the most meta unit the entire month, Ace might be a close second in my opinion, just because he spits out so much damage, defense down on his traps, great effect overall. He really helps so much, so I really want to green Ace. Not greening Ace was actually one of my biggest regrets JP side, because he helped me so much. Honestly, he's even good at 0-3 just budget because his LD is so loaded. Past that, the entire next month of BT Plus, I don't plan on investing at all. If I do get Twins BT, at most I'd 0-3 them, and I do have Garland's BT, so 0-3 there. Not going to roll with Cloud of Darkness or Bane, and then Jekt on Divine Shiva, and then the rest of the month not it for me. And then the next green I'm going to do is Kuja, and then probably Furion down the road. That's what I'm thinking, and then I need to have a backlog just for Cloud, Titus, etc., Laguna, and the likes. So that's my ideal plan. I'll probably just stack Ishtola and Ace if anything gets too tricky, but yeah, that's about it. Please look at the timelines, plan your resources accordingly. Make sure you have enough to get who you want, and you'll be fine as we go into BT+. So this video didn't take too long. Hope this was helpful. Hope I inspired some people. Let me know in the comments who you plan on greening now and in the future. Ask any questions if you have them. I'll be reading all the comments. Again, like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Help me out. Help spread this video around. It helps everybody out. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace.